Monster Hunter Wilds was released on 28th of February and it's been making waves with over 1 million concurrent players recorded on Steam on the first day itself. But is it really that good? If you're just looking for the answer, then it's yes. Yes, it's really good. But why is the review on Steam mixed then? Shouldn't it be positive or very positive or even overwhelmingly positive? Well, you would have to wait and find out. Without further ado, let's dive right in and discuss whether the game is really that good. Let's first start with the overview of this game. Pretty simple. You enter a vast open world. This time it's a complete open world where you can seamlessly enter any zone or camp or village and fight monsters. Before, you would need to enter a zone with some loading screens and do what you needed to do and get out of the zone with another loading screen and so on. This felt like a good addition because every game now is becoming an open world game, as people sometimes just want to roam around without doing any of the tasks or missions in the game. But that's nothing groundbreaking for the series. You also track and hunt down monsters just like previous games. But this time the tracking part has become really easy because of some new additions, which I'll talk about a little later. After hunting the monster, you can take their parts for upgrading your armor, your weapons, etc. And just like the previous titles, you would need to farm a lot to get those said upgrades. That's what seems funny to me. You hunt down these giant monsters 50, 60 or even 100 times just to make some pens. Anyway, enough of me whining. You will need to farm a lot though. As like any other RPG, you also have consumables for health and buffs. But along with that, you also have consumables to save you from some of the weather conditions like frost and heat. These conditions can be caused by the environment and are really irritating to have. There are also debuff counters consumables as well, which does exactly as the name suggests. Unlike other games where most of the time I never really make or buy most of the consumables available in the game, here I really do look into some of them because they are so useful and sometimes even life-saving. Traps play a big part in the game too. What really surprises me is that the game does not tell you how to catch monsters until the very end. That doesn't mean you can't catch them though. Aside from the main mission areas where catching is not allowed, you can catch any monsters as soon as you have the tools for it. All you need to do is almost kill it, set up traps and then throw some tranq bombs and voila, they are caught. Well, sometimes. The catch rate is what determines if they are easy or not. People say that if there is a skull icon on the map next to the monster, then it has a 100% catch rate. I haven't tried it yet, but you can try it out yourself. Also, you can now carry and throw traps at monsters, which is really great as these traps can be natural or man-made ones like a shock trap. Be wary of the elemental damage you do to the enemies though, as some of them might be very resistant to one. You will be surprised how little damage you do if you hit them with the resisted element. And last but not the least, we have collectibles and crafting materials that are spread out around the world that you can collect by just roaming around. You also have a hook that you can use to quickly snatch an item from your mount if they are far away, which is pretty handy. That was a pretty lengthy overview. Let's get into the pros and cons of the game. For the pros, the game's character creation system is really good. There are a lot of options to create the perfect face that you want and also some good presets as well. I don't know why, but lately I've been getting really into making my character the best I can do, and so sometimes I waste more than 20 to 30 minutes in the character creator system itself. And so games with a good creator makes me happy. It might not be a big concern for many other players though, as most of the things you put on gets covered by armor anyway. The next good thing about this game is the new mount they introduced called Sacred. You have no idea how much I appreciate this friend of mine in the huge open world. Why is he so useful? Well, first, you can direct him to go to the chosen objective automatically, so you don't have to steer him all the way, which makes tracking so much better. Just select the objective you want to go to and then with the press of a single button, your mount will take you there. In battles as well, he is very useful because you can kite around monsters and hit them even while mounted. You have mounted and an unmount attack, which deals a surprisingly large amount of damage. And in case you are in danger or if you are low in health, you can quickly mount Sacred and run away or flee from the area to heal back up. You can also sharpen your weapon and kite the attacks at the same time. Also, you have a whole new inventory on your mount, which makes it helpful to carry more things without going back to your camp. You also have a storage space for a second weapon as well. I personally have not used that weapon. Someone with lots of experience will know when and where to use that feature effectively. But it's good to know if I wanted to, I can carry a melee primary weapon and a ranged secondary weapon and switch them whenever I want. While all these help make the the game easier, it's not that game changing. You will struggle to win fights if you are not high enough level or don't have a good inventory. Apart from that, you have a new focus mode which helps you miss a little less than previous titles. Like many other games, this focuses a part of the monster's body which helps land attacks on that part if you space correctly. Also, as wounded parts receive more damage, it helps you out a lot as well, because you can focus more on those areas. But you will still miss some of your attacks, well, at least I do. Maybe that's just a skill issue. Being an open world game, you have the option to complete your missions at your own pace. You can start the mission, get all the cutscenes out of the way, and when you are in the open world again, you can just gather resources, gather materials for new equipment, or do whatever you want before actually starting the mission objectives. You can basically become overpowered for the monster before fighting it. If you get into a situation where you are underleveled or weak, you can use an SOS player and have different players join you on your hunt. Now, what if you play alone? Or you want to play offline? Well, this time around, the devs implemented AI hunters who help you in the hunt, which can be replaced by real players during the hunt. So there will be AI bots to help you to start with, and if a real player joins, one of these bots will get replaced by that player. This is one change that I'm a fan of. It helps me a lot because none of my friends really play these kinds of games, especially not Monster Hunter games. So having bots to help me saves me time to wait for real players. There are some other tidbits that I really like about this game as well. First is the chance to cook food anywhere in the world. As this game has an open world and coming back to camp to cook some basic items is tedious, the devs decided to make it so that you can cook anywhere in the world, which is a great change and quality of life improvement. Another one is the ability to start a hunt anytime I want. Before, you needed to start the quest, load into the area, and then start the hunt. But now you can do that whenever you want. And as we are on the point of tracking monsters, it has become significantly easier, and that had to be the case because of the world they built. You can use your mount and automate the step by allowing it to take you to your objective. Although I have talked about attacking before, I need to say that this time around the attack mechanism is fun. I have no idea what they changed, but it seemed a little different. All these changes are pretty good and deserve a good review, right? Well, you are correct, but there are some cons that hold this game back. Let's take a look at some of the Steam comments and see what the fuss is all about. The first comment says, "Cool game, awful performance and worse optimization. Capcom, if you do end up fixing the game and you'd like me to edit this review into a positive one, it will cost you $349 for a review edit voucher. Excited to play this game, but the poor performance has left me very disappointed. You compare this game with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which released earlier in the month, and it leaves me feeling that this level of performance for a big release from a big company like Capcom is simply not acceptable. We can see pretty clearly that performance is the biggest issue here." The second review that I read sums it up pretty nicely. If Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 could do it, why can't they? It's not like KCD 2 is a small linear game. We are getting better and better games with good optimization. Well, not good, but good enough. And this game does not have that. If that was the only complaint, then it should not be a big deal because performance issues can be fixed pretty quickly. But there are other problems as well. The first is its multiplayer. Multiplayer is so bad for this game, I have no idea why they can't still fix it. It's far from being seamless, and if you want to play with your friends in your party, there are a lot of steps to be followed before doing that. I mean, why can I not just invite them and they just join my party and go on a hunt together? The next point might not be as important as others, but the difficulty is lowered, and this might be something that might put off some hardcore fans as well. For newer players, the game does a very bad job at explaining the mechanisms that it has. You would have to either figure out yourself or watch some guides, which is not good because there will be a lot of new players for any new game. The story is also very basic and not really that interesting. You go into the Forbidden Lands to find your teammate and help the local people to get rid of the monsters that have been terrorizing the area. The gameplay is what carries this game. And lastly, the UI for this game is not really that good. I know it's not really that important, but sometimes I felt frustrated navigating around it. All in all, if you never really like Monster Hunter games, this game won't make you a fan of it, nor will it make you hate it. Final things that I wanted to share about this game is that the weapon mechanisms are really good and that the different weapons are very unique, and you will need to find the one that matches your playstyle. Traps and combos are really important if you want to take down enemies quickly. Elements and wounds make a huge difference. It's also good that you can now carry around the traps and place them where you want and play accordingly. The game is huge and is, I think, almost double the size of Worlds, which is pretty massive. There are 4 zones called the Windward Plains, Scarlet Forest, Oil Basin, and Ice Shard Cliffs, and the environment is what you will think after hearing the names of the zones. There are also territory wars where 2 huge monsters will start fighting, and you can either help one of them or just take them on 2v1 or wait for one of them to die. One more change that I noticed, which was really nice, is the events that happen around the zones. There will be a big event like a storm or a heavy downpour, which changes the landscape significantly and also spawns some different monsters as well. And that was the review of the recently released Monster Hunter Wilds. Do I think this is a Game of the Year contender? Well, for now, yes. If they fix the problems, I can see this game become a great one. While I still prefer Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, this game does have some good potential. What do you guys think about this one? Let me know in the comments down below. If you want to know which are the best and most iconic gaming characters, watch this video. See you in the next one.